Hello beautiful people of the internet, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Hannah if you're new here, and I'm so excited that you've joined me today. Today, we're going to be discussing all of the books that are coming out during the fall months that I am so excited for. Releases that I cannot wait to get my hands on. So I am going to be looking down quite a bit because I got this new cute notebook that looks like this, and it's got the little sprayed edges. I got it from Ross, if you're wondering, and I have just been putting my YouTube ideas and stuff in here. So that's what I'm going to be looking at. Again, we're going to be discussing all the books that are coming out from September all the way to November that are fall related books. And I'm so excited to get my hands on these. I do want to point out that I have an anticipated release video that I did a couple of months ago for the second half of the year, but none of these books are in that video. So if you haven't watched that one, go watch that one first, and then you'll find a new set of books on this one. So without further ado, let's get started. All right, the first book that I want to show you is already out. It came out on the 5th of September, and that is Enchanted to Meet You by Meg Cabot. I know a lot of people that have read by this author. Apparently she's a very nostalgic romance writer. I've personally never read by this author. I own 2 or 3 books by her, but I've never read by her. This one just caught my eye. So apparently this one is a witchy, paranormal adult romance. This follows our main character, Jessica, who is a witch, and she made a bad spell when she was a teenager and got banned from this society or council of witches. So she's just minding her own business one day, and this guy named Derek comes to her door and tells her that she is the chosen one, or the chosen witch, that is going to be saving this council of witches from a bunch of trouble. So apparently romance ensues from there. Sounds like a good time. It sounds like a good spooky fall time, and the cover is just darling. This is another one that is actually already out, and I know this is going to be on a lot of people's list, and that's Holly by Stephen King. Just take a look at this beautiful, beautiful house on the cover. I'm so excited. So the synopsis of this one is Holly, our main character, receives a call for a detective job of finding someone's missing daughter. Searching brings her to an elderly couple with a big secret in their basement. So I'm guessing this elderly couple may have some answers to this crime. This next one I actually already own because I got it as part of my book of the month pick, and that is The Strangers Upstairs by Lisa M. Matlin. This comes out on the 19th of September, and just look at this. Is that not the most stunning thriller cover that you've ever seen? So this one is following our main character, Sarah, and Sarah is a social media influencer who decides to buy an old house to renovate. Well, this old house has a history of murder and lots of different things like that. And she finds that this house is a lot more than she bargained for. I'm so excited about this one, and I'm so excited to have it on my shelf. This next one comes out October 3rd, and that is My Darling Girl by Jennifer McMahon. So apparently this one is supposed to be a possession story. It's supposed to be a cat and mouse story, and I am intrigued. This is about our main character, Allison, and Allison receives a phone call that her mother only has a few weeks left to live. Now, her mother was not the best growing up, and she has some trauma centered around her mother, but besides all that, she decides to take her in, and things ensue from there. And I can only imagine what Jennifer McMahon is going to unfold. I recently read The Children on the Hill by Jennifer McMahon, and that plot twist was absolutely insane, so I could only imagine what she's going to do with this one. Also, if you hear any sudden outbursts, Tennessee is playing today, and my husband is really getting into the game. Okay, so this next one isn't really a spooky read, but it did look cute, so I had to include it on this list. And that is The Burnout by Sophie Kinsella, and it comes out October 10th, 2023. So I'm just going to read you this synopsis because I don't think I can summarize it better than it already is. I think it's hilarious. Sasha has hit a wall. She has no motivation anymore. She decides she's going to the seaside resort she loved as a kid. There, she meets Finn, a grumpy guy who's just as stressed out as Sasha, and the two are forced to share the resort. And you can kind of fill in the blanks from there. It is an adult romance, and it looks adorable. This next one is strictly a cover by The Night House by Joe Nesbo. Look at this cover. I'll give you a minute. This comes out October 3rd, 2023. And it's about 14-year-old Richard, who's been sent to live with his aunt and his uncle after his parents have died in a house fire. So obviously Richard has been through some things, and he's kind of labeled as this strange outcast kid at school, and all of a sudden one of his classmates goes missing, and everybody's head turns towards Richard. Like, I bet you it was Richard. But no one believes him when he says that Tom, the missing kid, was sucked into a telephone booth out by the edge of the woods. I need it immediately. This next one seems more like a hard-hitting book instead of a really spooky book. So this is the Reformatory by, I'm not going to try and butcher this author's name. It will be right here. A gripping, page-turning novel set in Jim Crow, Florida, that follows Robert Stevens Jr. as he's sent to a segregated reform school that is a chamber of terrors when he sees the horrors of racism and injustice for the living and the dead. Okay, this seems like a really hard-hitting book, but also maybe spooky. I didn't know that it was also spooky. I forgot to tell you that this one comes out on the 31st, on Halloween. This next one just seems like all the rich people drama that we all know and love. And that's The Manor House by Jilly McMillan. This one comes out on November 7th, 2023. So this one is about our main characters, Nicole and Tom. And Nicole and Tom were childhood sweethearts. They've always grown up together. And then when they get married, they win the lottery. And so they live life on the lam. They start buying expensive cars. They start buying houses. They start buying everything and living the life of luxury. That is until Tom ends up in the swimming pool dead. I'm gonna eat it up. I'm gonna eat it up. All right, this last one is an adult romance, and it comes out on November 14th, 2023, and it's called Do Your Worst by Rosie Dannon. So this one says, Riley Rhodes finally has the chance to turn her family's knack for the supernatural into a legitimate business when she's hired to break the curse on an infamous Scottish castle. Used to working alone in her alienating occupation, she's pleasantly surprised to meet a handsome stranger upon arrival until he tries to get her fired. This also says that she is the author of The Roommate, which I think is this book. So I've not read this one yet. I do think that this one looks like a spooky, fun, romantic time. Okay, really quick before I ended the video, I wanted to show you two books that I literally just picked up today that I have been anticipating that just came out. So this first one is My Roommate is a Vampire by Jenna Levine. This was the last copy that my Booksmillion had, and I snatched it up. This is giving me Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires, but also rom-com. And I mean, do we need to know anything else? And the next one was The September House by Carissa Orlando. I literally saw this on Instagram and immediately went out and bought it because of this synopsis alone. So this one is about our main characters, Margaret and Hal. Margaret and Hal buy this beautiful Victorian house that they're so excited for, and they find out that every September, some weird things start happening. The walls begin to drip blood, and some weird hauntings start happening. Well, Margaret is stubborn and she's like, no, this is my house. I'm not giving it up to any ghost, no matter what. And Hal gets tired of it. He's like, you know what? I'm leaving. Bye. Which, that would be me. That would be me. And so Margaret is left to try and figure out what she's gonna do. I am so stoked for this, and the fact that it takes place in September and it's September now, I've got to read this right now. Alrighty people, and that is all of the books that I have to show you on this list. I know there wasn't too many, but I wanted to keep it short and sweet because I know that I talked a lot about some anticipated releases on my previous video that I did. So if you haven't watched that, please go do that. But again, I kind of wanted just to stick to fall spooky reads for obviously the season. Yeah, if you made it this far into the video, please leave me some kind of fall emoji. You can leave me a pumpkin, a leaf, a ghost, a pug licking its paw. Yeah, I'm talking about you. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me today, friends. If you liked this video, please don't forget to like it and hit that subscribe button if you want to stick around, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, friends.